Something in the air about Friday, and here we are on the final Friday without baseball. That's right, less than a week away from opening day. We'll get into some baseball a little bit later on in the program. Aaron Rodgers decided to spend his Friday afternoon in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. What does that mean? We'll get to that in just a few minutes. And, of course, we'll talk to you throughout the day at 888-808-1019. You know what's screwing St. John's and the city really being taken over by St. John's excitement? You know what's really screwing them? The start times.
Yes, true.
Last night, St. John's game began at exactly 9:58, and we made predictions on what time that game would start.
Stop bragging.
We'll get to that in a few minutes. I may have won that. So 9:58 comes around, and the game starts. And I have to tell you, I'm personally in a wonderful mood. I'm in a wonderful mood because the Rangers are a disgrace to hockey. I'm in a wonderful mood because the Islanders were able to get 2 points against Montreal. I'm in a wonderful mood because the Brooklyn Nets decided, here's how we tank. Let's start a fist fight, and we'll lose in overtime. And I'm even in a better mood because the Knicks are an embarrassment. And we'll get to that a little bit later on. And I sit down, and I'm watching the Johnnies, and it's an ugly start. They're down 7-0. They come back. They can't grab a rebound. And I kind of knew St. John's would win at the very end of the first half when they had a 2-point lead. And the kid on Omaha dribbled the ball off of his foot. And then St. John's had an end one play, and they went up 5 at the half. But here's what happened to me. And I think I'm like a really good sports fan. I think I'm committed. As halftime started, I knew it was going to happen. As halftime started, I'm sitting in my Barco lounger, and I passed the F out.
Come on.
I passed the F out. Now, you may say, well, what happened? Was that it? Was that it for the night? And by the way, I bring this up because I can't be the only person. So when we try to figure out if St. John's fever has hit New York City, which we're going to try to do here at the top of the show, I mean, if we're falling asleep at halftime, then there's no fever. Now, what happened to me? Did I get to see the end of the game? My lovely wife, all of a sudden, starts shaking me. She comes up to the Barco Lounge, shaking me. I'm like, what's up? What's happening? And she looks at me and says, aren't you supposed to be watching this basketball game? I look at the score, and St. John's is up by 30. So, did I see the game? Sort of. But I bring this up because, Tiki, when a game starts at 10 o'clock at night and we're trying to all get into the fever of St. John's, and most of us are not diehard fans. We're casuals.
Not yet, at least.
Not yet. That game starting at 11 o'clock at night or 10 o'clock at night, that's a problem. And what happened to me can't be like singularly to me. I'm sure a lot of people had the sleep issue last night.
I didn't even make it. You didn't even make it? I didn't. So I get home, have dinner with Tracy because she always waits for me because I don't get home till 7:15 or so. Mm-hmm. So we're just hanging. She goes and takes the kids to go up to bed, takes a shower, whatever. And I'm just sitting down watching, just waiting because it's now 8:20. Yeah. Whatever. I take the dogs for a walk, go on a walk with the dogs. I'm feeling like relaxed. I'm like, I'll just pull out a book. So I open up my iPad. I start reading Tale of Two Cities because I've never read it. I was like, I might as well read this. Got a classic on here. Let me just read this Tale of Two Cities. It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. Next thing you know, it's like 11:20. I just walk upstairs and go right to bed.
Wait, so you read through the game, basically?
I didn't know. I started reading, and I got like 3 pages in, and I was asleep. Wow. I don't think I made it till 9:50.
Oh, I see. Wow.
I was unconscious.
No, I get it.
So it was too late.
It's too late. And when you are a team that's trying to get us all like revved up and excited, it's tough when you challenge our systems right away.
Yes.
Now, for the diehard fan out there, they could have made that game 2 o'clock in the morning. You'll be there. I remember the Mets, the first playoff game in my lifetime was a game that the Mets played in Arizona against the Diamondbacks. It was an 11-10 first pitch. It did not matter. As a diehard fan, the start time doesn't matter. But when you're casual, and I think most of New York City around St. John's is casual in that regard, start times matter.
Yep.
And I can't be the only one, and Tiki can't be the only one. Tiki didn't make it. I passed out at halftime. My wife woke me up. I see they're up by 30. Now, I assume Sean, as the hater of St. John's, You obviously made some waves yesterday, and you gave the midday show quite a topic for half their program.
Yeah, you're welcome.
With Sean saying he's rooting against St. John's.
I hope they go down in flames tonight.
Right.
That's what he said.
I know he watched it because he made some wagers, I'm assuming.
Is that what you did, Sean? How'd your night go?
I was locked in last night. A little gummy, 2 rum and cokes. Ended up with some chip deluxe with M&M with cookies and milk. I made it. Stayed up through the postgame, too. I was on there watching Clark Kellogg and stuff till basically 1 a.m. I couldn't buzz around.
Wow.
My daughter woke me up this morning, 7:30. Daddy, I got to go to school. All right. We put on the pants, 1 foot in front of the other, and we went to work.
So you were glued to the TV, no issues?
I was into it, and I'm pro Johnny's now, by the way. I got Johnny fever.
What
Omaha wins by 25.
It's because you won some money on him?
Yeah, I mean, look, I was cleaning up yesterday, but there was something about yesterday, the pageantry, seeing the fans going, those are my people. Those are New Yorkers. They're up in Rhode Island. I was into it.
Bro, there's no way you can go from I hope they lose by 25.
This is a classic bait and switch.
It really is.
No, listen, I mean, substances played a part in it, but I was into it, man.
The other thing is, okay, so
I can't wait for this thing to come to a flaming end, and we can move on to baseball season.
A flaming end, by the way. So that was round 1. Now the problem is round 2 is on Saturday afternoon at 2:45 p.m. And
2:45?
Yeah. And it's an incredibly sexy matchup. It's awesome. Coach Cal versus Rick Pitino, Arkansas. And I watched a lot of the Arkansas game last night without a problem. It was incredibly exciting. But I think the start time for Saturday is going to be another problem. Again, if you're a diehard fan, they could play this game on the moon at 3 a.m. and you'll be there, right? Doesn't matter. But if you are, I'm kind of interested. Yeah, this is cool. New York's basketball team. Start times matter. And on a Saturday afternoon, the final Saturday that we have free before baseball season starts, I don't know, man. I think a lot of casuals aren't even going to watch the next matchup.
They want it in the evening when they're more likely to be chilling. Don't have kid birthdays or whatever the heck's going on Saturdays during this time of the year.
Tiki,
I feel like there's a birthday every weekend.
You literally nailed it, okay? Why am I, as a sports talk show host, not watching St. John's live on Saturday? You literally said it. I'm taking my 4-year-old to a birthday party. Mm-hmm. And I'm, again, not alone. Like, there are a lot of people who just have commitments, and so you can DVR, and I'm a big DVR guy, and it's probably what I'll end up doing. But for all I hear about St. John's Fever, the start to this tournament, and it's not their fault. It's not Patino's fault. It's not Zuby's fault. It's not R.J. Lewis's fault. It just sucks. And I think it's stemming, or at least bringing down the potential excitement we'd have around St. John's based on the fact that these game times are a pain in the rear end for most Americans.
Yeah, but look, if they win against Arkansas, which is going to be a tough duty. Mm-hmm. But if they win against Arkansas, and then we get into next week, and we're talking about, man, this team could go to the Sweet 16, I think that's when real excitement for the non-fan will start to build. Obviously, the fan is loving every minute of this, the first tournament win in forever for them. And so it's next week where we'll really find out how committed the non-St. John's New York fan is.
And so here's what you're saying, and I completely agree with you. For St. John's Fever to really hit this town, they have to win Saturday because this early portion of the tournament, based on start times, which I think is the main reason, it's not even where it is in the tournament. Because look, St. John's hasn't won a tournament game in 25 years.
Right.
It is really exciting. I don't care how crappy the opponent is. They earn the right to place a crappy opponent. Like, they earn that. I think that, unfortunately, it's the start times that's hurting the St. John's Fever. If they can get to the Sweet 16, you know what that means? As someone who's watched college basketball my entire life, even if I love the NBA more, that means the start times are after 6 o'clock. That means now we may get another 9:30 because they would be in California, but nevertheless, we'll get a more reasonable start time. And then I think the vibe will start to pick up. Because as we sit here right now on Friday, March 21st at 2:11 p.m., I'm happy for the diehard St. John's fan. I'm trying to get into it, but I do not get the sense that the city has been taken over. Now, we're going to try to prove that, or prove me wrong, because I've got no axe to grind here. Coming up in just a few short minutes, Sean Morash is going to do an experiment. We are going to send him downstairs here in the beautiful city of New York with a microphone. Live on the radio, he's going to go up to random people and ask them questions like, have you watched St. John's, and are you interested in St. John's?
Oh, good old man on the street.
Live man on the street.
That is awesome.
And I think that's because me spouting on the radio, like, I'm just giving you my opinion. Let's find out with science. And I think this is a great science of having, this large bald man randomly go up to strangers and ask them about St. John's.
And clearly the only person here not complaining about start times. Love a little 2:45 tomorrow. I think the city's going to be captivating. Right. I can't wait to go out and talk to these people.
You know who's excited about that is BT. Because BT will be home at a reasonable hour.
Is that what he really wants, though?
No, probably not, but whatever.
And you know what? I'm excited because all you St. John's fans on Long Island better come out and watch with me. I'll be at the tap room.
Oh, that's right. Huntington. You're doing guest bartending during the St. John's game?
With Boomer.
Yeah, your turn today.
Oh, that's going to be fun.
3 to 5, so right that whole St. John's game.
This is why he's got a turn, though.
Oh, is that why you're turning?
Yeah. No, I'm
because they're all going to be there.
See, I think your damage has been done. You said what you said yesterday.
I can't wait for this thing to come to a flaming end, and we can move on to baseball season.
And you pissed off enough St. John's fans that no matter what you say today of, oh, I'm really into it, I had a gummy, like that will fall on deaf ears.
No.
You are officially, whether you like it or not, the mascot of St. John's haters.
No.
It just is what it is.
No, they're my Johnnies. They're our Johnnies. Let's unite here.
They're not your Johnnies. You also texted me last night. Hold on. What's the nickname of Omaha? I completely forgot already. Mavericks.
Mavericks.
Yeah, you wrote "Go Mavericks," and I don't think you meant Dallas.
No, I bet them. Yeah, the better player on the court tonight plays for Omaha.
Oh, he's talking about the Dallas Mavericks.
Is that what he meant?
Got it.
Is that what he meant? Well, I'm going to prove it to you.
Did they play last night?
I don't even know, to be honest with you. I'm going to prove it to you. I'm going to put a guy on right now who has a bone to pick with you, and I assume that bone is related to St. John's. Victor in Danbury, Connecticut. Pick your bone with Sean Morash. Go ahead.
Hey, yo, Sean.
Yo, Victor.
What's your problem, man? Why you got to be throwing shade on some good feeling, good basketball? Finally, after who knows how many years, you know, we are relevant again in the NCAA with all the, you know, blue chip movies that came out. Now everything is on the up and up with the NIL and the money, right?
I love that.
For real, why do you, instead of just, you know, didn't your parents teach you if you got nothing nice to say, keep your mouth shut?
No, in fact, Victor.
And then BT's over there working the game, and then he's got to hear this. And you know what, BT? He was classy. You know what he did? He let you slide.
I think BT screwed up. He should have called him a fat pig.
Yeah, exactly. Let me slide. He's got a 2-day vacation in Rhode Island. Let's calm down.
But this proves my point, Sean. No matter what you say today, you have already committed yourself as the St. John's hater. Like, it is what it is. You could talk about how they're your Johnnies and my Johnnies.
St. John's also caught the Big East in the worst year of the Big East.
I mean, all these things were said by you yesterday. There's no walking that back.
Oh, that's fine. Look, I'm not allowed to catch a fever when I have it. Just put the thermometer in my mouth. It's reading 103 red storm.
What about last night's game, in which it was ugly early, they couldn't grab a rebound, they struggled, but then in typical St. John's fashion, after they closed the first half, taking advantage of that Omaha turnover, they went on a big run and they made this a blowout. What happened last night that turned the fever up? Like, what happened?
The three that Lewis makes coming out of the second half, there was a point in time I felt like I was sitting in the student section with my surround sound booming, and I said, I'm one of these people. And I looked to the left and I looked to the right, and I thought I was a senior at St. John's. So I don't know, I felt the part of it. I did.
Now, when you go downstairs in a few minutes and you talk to random people, these are just literally random New Yorkers. We're not setting it up. He's not interviewing people that work here. Because here's the thing about people that work here. They're not here today.
No. So Sal and BT bought all this pizza to show up Evan. All this pizza.
For nothing.
For nothing.
They wasted it.
There's 3 full pies sitting out there, basically.
Our engineering department loves it.
They're the only people that are here. So you're going to go down to the streets of New York City and ask them about St. John's if they're interested. What do you think the response is going to be?
I think that the overwhelming response will be who, where, what sport.
So you don't think St. John's fever is caught quite yet?
Not on the streets of New York.
Not on the streets of New York.
I think you go to a pub showing March Madness games, you'll find those people.
Well, that's different. You can't do that.
No. You know what? Go stand outside the Holland Tunnel, flag cars and traffic, and say, hey, this is not a congestion pricing question. I'm going to ask you about the Johnnies. I don't think it's going to be overwhelmingly I'm into it.
Well, we're going to find out next. We're going to do a little bit of an experiment here in the beautiful city of New York. We're going to send Sean down, and we're going to try to get a vibe on if there truly is excitement for St. John's basketball.
I do wish Tommy was here, though. I think it's a good day for Tommy to text Slippery Pete and find out, did St. John's outrate all the other locals last night?
Well, the thing that would have hurt them last night is the start time.
Yeah. But they were CBS compared to the other.
No, I get
that's a good point.
I get they were on CBS, but the game started at 10 o'clock at night. And I know people don't tend to work on Fridays anymore, as you'll see when you go downstairs in New York City, but it's a it's a tricky spot. I'll defend them on whatever that TV rating looked like because, again, most of us who are casual, who are trying to get on the bandwagon probably had a tough time staying up last night. And it really concerned me because baseball season's about to start, and my body is not ready for this. If I'm passing out at halftime, first sign of a commercial break, I'm drooling.
Maybe less YouTube videos about wrestling documentaries at 3:30 in the morning on other nights, and you'd stay up for the Johnnies.
I'm a baby. It's a great point, Sean. I'll have to work on that. When we come back, we'll send Sean downstairs. And Giant fans, what do you make of the fact that Aaron Rodgers is spending his day in Pittsburgh? Does he have a trip planned to New Jersey next? We'll get to the bottom of it coming up. The toll-free number is 888-808-1019.